Oh, both fell. Okay. Okay, stabilizers, you're not loyal. Come on. Please. I will I'll find a space for you. Okay. Just chill. There you go. Okay. Hello. Good morning. It's freaking cold. It's, I have when you ever used to be doing Mr. Rogers and I'm putting a jacket on down here, it's cold. It's like let's see. No, hold on. Oh, sorry. It's like 17 degrees. Good morning. It's cold, and I know that there's a major cold snap going across the country right now. Everybody stay warm. Um, Make sure you have your supplies. Check on your elderly and check on pets. If there's like if you see any stray pets, like definitely call animal control. It's really too cold for them out there right now. Especially if you see like if you see shady stuff like where you see a pet outside like 24/7 and it's like 17 degrees, that's not cool. 10 degrees. I know certain parts of Pennsylvania is going to get like that 6 to 12 inches snow dump. I know. Hey, Texas. Okay, so it's like 25. Oh, yeah, I know. Like, I don't know. Texas cold is different from Maryland because it's like there's moisture in our cold and the humidity. Like anywhere in the Delmarva area, there's humidity. Like there's some kind of like dew point. But like Texas is like this dry cold, and it feels like I this is what I imagine like the White Walkers felt like in Games of Thrones. Like they like shards of ice. I'm like I can't do this. 69 degrees in Florida. That's cold for Florida too, though. Like that's the one thing. Every state has their cold point and their hot point. I know when I was in California, if it was like 69 degrees, I would wear a like a little bit of a hoodie or a sweater because it was cold to me. Let's see. Hold on. There. Okay, there we go. I had to move some people. Negative 14. No snow yet. Okay, so we were supposed to have snow and then we are not. Since we're in central Maryland and not in Southern Maryland is getting it, but not central. So it's like I'm excited that it's not there, but at the same time I wanted it there. I love the way snow looks. I The only thing I hate about snow is when it gets dirty. I know, but I love snow. I love the way it looks, and it's nice and cold, and it's like family and all that stuff. But yeah, no, it when it gets dirty, it drives me nuts. It seems we have a really bad cold snap. They said that it's gonna get colder and like I don't know, this winter is gonna be for the books. I know. And then we yes, that is the thing. This is how and I know they say you can't get sick, but this is how I feel like people get sick. It'll be like 26 degrees and then like 2 days later it's like 86. You're like, "What the this sucks." Yeah, it's too much. So today is gonna be an interesting day. I gotta fix like mistakes and like just fix things. My youngest, my son Kendall Jr., which we call him AKA Ken Ken, he's not feeling good, so I have to call the pediatrician to see if we can get him squeezed in or see if we can get an appointment at urgent care. I think he has an ear infection, and and you know when you have an ear infection, like your day, there's nothing you can do. Everything you're just miserable because everything's just kind of off balance and kilter, and you just there's nothing you can do. So I'm monitoring that, and then I just realized that tomorrow is like for me and Patreon for the rotary cutters, we're cutting out, but I accidentally did the cutting out of of our bag we're doing and our sewing of um our accessory at the same time, so I have to work out these 2 different times and see what works out for them. I've never actually did 2 times before, it's just been one of those weeks. So I have a package from I got some, hardware from, Cereal Bag Maker, so that's coming in today, and I ordered new business cards. Every year, I order new business cards from Vistaprint. They're relatively inexpensive, so when I do these conventions, I can do it. I literally give 500 to 1,000 cards easily at a convention, but I like to make them different every year because there's certain people that come by every year that get it and like your card's different. They kind of collect them. And this year I'm really excited because I did something a little bit that is not me. Usually I do like a craft paper kind of cards where it's like craft paper and it has my business name and the QR codes or whatever. So this year I kind of did it pink with metallic silver and it's embossed and I'm kind of excited to see it in person. Let's see. Good morning. So yeah, I was gonna work on today the Mercury large bag. I got to do part of it yesterday. I love the hidden pocket in this. There's something about the Mercury, like every time I make it, it makes me so excited because like look at this. You don't think it's a pocket and then bam, secret pocket. like I love the front of the Mercury always makes me so excited to make. I did finish up like the straps the straps on it and I'm really excited about that putting that together. I'm hoping I can get to sew today, but I might be like on mom duty and like I can't I can't focus on sewing if my kid is sick. Like that's all I'm hyper focused on that and that's all I can think of. um when I get fixated on something, it is what it is. I don't know. It's something that I talked to my therapist about. Like, my therapy appointment went really well yesterday, but it was it was kind of like an eye opener. So he was like, "How are you doing?" And I was telling him that I feel better because I was able to do all the taxes. As a small business, you do your taxes also like sales taxes in Maryland quarterly. So if I owe any taxes for sales taxes, which usually I don't because when I sell through Etsy or when I sell through PayPal or Square, I collect the state taxes and then I send it to them on a quarterly basis. But to do write-offs and get all my 1099s and everything like that, I sent it to him and I have to write all the incomes that I received from like every amount. And I felt like a little bit better once it was done because it's a very tedious process. Like I start like in January 15th and I swear to you, I'm not done until February 15th. It's very stressful to do taxes for me. Um, I'll show you guys the cards tomorrow. They come in today. Um, so I was telling him that when our tax guy, Mr. Ramsey, our CPA, we've had him for like forever. When he gave us back the numbers, I was upset. Okay. I have a small business and I've had it for quite some time. And when I first started my small business, it's normal for our small business for the first 3 years to kind of be in the deficit. You're kind of losing money because you're putting in money into your business, whether it's business cards, equipment, putting it on Etsy and lots of sales, trying to buy ads, just different thing, camera equipment, it happens. So for I've had my business roughly for 6 or 7 years, but after the first 2 years, I started making profit. So 2023, I killed it. I killed it. I made like $35,000 on my own, and I had very little things I had to pay for. Like, yeah, I pay for like stabilizers, but I usually buy in bulks like this where it's 35 meters and it kind of lasts me all through the years because I'm really frugal when it comes down to my interfacing. Like I'm that person that draws my interfacing. I don't batch um like iron. Like I see some people like do a whole yard and then cut out. I'm really frugal when it comes down to that. Um so, and I thought in 2024 between like sales, cons, and teaching gigs that I was easily in the 40 bracket. No, I wasn't. I only made $100 more than I made in 2023. And I kept fixating on that number. I'm a person that doesn't usually focus on numbers because once I do, that's all I can think of. So, I kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. My husband had to take the paperwork away from me, but then I'm slick. I took a screenshot and like I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. I'm like, I did so much in 2024. And I was talking to other friends that have small business. They're like, 2024 was a horrible year for small businesses. Like people weren't buying and da da da. And I was so fixated on this number. Like I and then so he my I so I brought the paperwork. He was like, "Let me look." He's like, "You did other things." He's like, "You taught a lot more and you didn't get a lot of internet sales." And he was like, "Small businesses suffered so much in 2024. You grew in other places that you didn't grow in 2022 and 2023." But that's how my mind works. I that's how my mind is. I get fixated on stuff and that's all I can think of. And that's why I have a tendency of not thinking of things. It took me until like the breakthrough yesterday to realize that it's okay. And the fact that I still was $100 more than 2023, that it was a blessing. And I shouldn't be upset that I didn't make 10K or 5K more or whatever. That everyone around me, a lot of people around me were falling back. And I just found a different avenue to make money. And that was through teaching. But yeah, I was fixated on that and how he figured out how I was fixated on numbers, he never knew it was. I was until he was like, "Hey, Shinova, you look like you lost weight." He's like, "How much weight have you lost?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "You don't weigh yourself?" And I'm like, "No, I kind of tell by like I can't wear my wedding ring. I had tape around it and I can't do it anymore. And I don't want to get it sized yet down. And I can't my a lot of my pants don't fit. My a lot of my shirts that I wear are baggy now and whatnot, and you can kind of tell in my face. And he's like, "You don't get on a scale." And I was like, "No." And I was like, "I have to get on a scale when I go to the dermatologist or the neurologist because they do the medicine, how they base the medicine on. So when I go to them in March or February, I'll get on a scale." And he's like, "Very interesting." He's like, "Why is that?" And I was like, "When I was in gymnastics, they would have to weigh you for you to be in certain categories. And it was like your weight was like important every single day. You had to like weigh yourself." And I guess in my head to protect myself, I don't do that because I know if I weigh myself once a month or once a week, then it turns into once a day. And then if I don't lose a pound a day, I'll binge eat because I'm like, it's not working. I'm a failure. I need to eat. So that's how he figured out that I was fixated on my tax numbers. So if you're one of these people that are fixated on numbers of cells, you're not alone. Definitely talk to someone about it. It's actually quite a normal thing to feel like you're failing and you're not. It's okay to feel that way. You're okay to feel that way, but it's good to get help to make you realize that one, you're not alone. Two, you're really not failing. Three, this is what is happening right now with our economy. Um, it's a very scary thing. And I was telling him about the tariffs and how I'm afraid, and he said he's afraid because medication is one of the things that are going to be hit with a 25% tariff fee. He said it's normal to be afraid, but we need to if we talk about it, and the more we talk about it, there's going to be someone that's behind it that's going to want to campaign against it and run, fight for it. Like we people need to talk about it. So it was a very refreshing therapy lesson, like session. I found out a little bit more about myself and how I self how I protect myself by not looking at numbers. And I also think I don't look at numbers because face the facts. We look at numbers every single day we sell. We look at fractions, we look at measurements, we look at numbers every day. So I guess in my day-to-day life, I really don't look at numbers because we do it every single day. Like, oh, measure 1/4 of an inch down, 2 inches up. Like we look at numbers all the time. So when it comes down to simple, minute things, I don't look at numbers. So let's see. Yeah, you're right. I diversified my revenue. Yeah, you stayed close to 2023 too. I know it's a weird feeling, like, you're like, oh, especially because like, 2022 and 2023 were, like, almost a $10,000 difference. So I was like, I'm gonna do it like that. And then when I seen the number, I was like, and when Kindle broke it down and the CPA broke it down, it was my online sales. I'm in-person sales, I killed it. Like, I killed it. I was the highest. I killed it, like, in person for all the cons, and I actually have a lot of sales that I just made on PayPal, like, people seeing bags on Instagram or whatever. It was, like, the Etsy sales, and that's why I was trying to tell people, like, I know some people are not for Etsy, but, like, 2023 Etsy for me was like I was getting sales every week. It didn't matter. Like it was doing well. But 2024, I think I only made like 2 grand on Etsy. And compared to shipping fees and your monthly fees, it didn't make sense. And I can see why a lot of people pull away. There's a lot of people that are just keeping Etsy and having like a monthly fee for namesake so people could find them on Instagram or on Facebook or on some other kind of platform because there are people out there that will see your name, see that you're kind of successful in something, and then take your name and put it on different social media platforms to scam people. Unfortunately, we live in a world today that people are kind of scammers want to scam, right? But yes, spending less, you're right. Spending less is and buying less makes up a lot. Like what one thing I learned, if I could tell Shinova from 5, 6 years ago, is to buy in bulk. Buy your interface in bulk because you do save a lot more. It's harder to find the room. Like I was tearing apart on this side of the room yesterday before I did a video with Patreon. I'm tearing apart this side of the room because I have like three themes of interfacing, and I'm like, I have no place to put them. So I have to put them up against this inside the shelf thing, but I have to tear apart all this stuff inside of it in order to make them fit in the shelf. Because if they're just sitting out, it's going to drive me batty. Good morning, Christine. Yeah. I know, you're absolutely right, Lynette, and I did. Oh, the thing is that I told you, like, one of the things I the teaching part, like, in 2024, the biggest thing to me is when I was at Wizardry, I had, like, an epiphany, like, this breakthrough that I was enough to teach. Like, I guess I felt like I wasn't enough this whole time, and that was a breakthrough, and I can never thank Melissa enough, like, coming into my room and comforting me. She is an amazing person, and that like Wizardly Stitchery will always be the highlight of 2024 for me because it was a lot of breakthrough moments. And I got to meet Shannon. Yeah, it was a tough, tough year mentally. Like it was a super tough, tough year. I'm hoping that 2025 changes. We do have that curveball with the tariff, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad year. It just means that people are going to be having to spend a little bit more. And I think with the whole world knowing that they're going to spend more, they're going to be a little bit more caution with their spending. And then all that means is that when they spend on you, they believe in you. Okay. So I know that we're afraid. I'm afraid. Heck, my therapist and my psychiatrist, my neurologist, they're all afraid. But we can't let fear drive us. Fear is a very powerful weapon, and if we let it drive us into the negative place instead of driving us to do better and conquer it, it it can just it's not a cool thing. Okay, so other than my doom and gloom, I'm gonna tell you how my ADHD mind works. So I'm like trying to okay, so the NAACP are indoctrinating the Wayne's brothers and the Wayne's family into there. And I was really proud of them because the Wayne's family have been in part of comedy since the 80s. And every generation they have somebody like White Chicks, Scary Movie, like there's so many movies that are like staple in our youth or in our adolescence, adulthood that we remember. So I was like really proud of them. And I was like, hey, dude, I wonder how many other people have super many brothers and sisters um that are in there. So like I was just going through it. I was like, oh yeah, the Hemsworth, right? So like I follow Chris Hemsworth's wife because she's from Spain. Shout out to Spain. Um, so and she's just like she's low key, like she's super gangster. I don't know. I feel like I love me some Chris Hemsworth, but we can never be because I'm afraid of Australia. There's just way too many snakes and bugs. Like having random snakes in your house every day. Like they're like, oh look at this snake. Croggy, and you're just like, "No, that shouldn't be in your house." Like, so, like, I can't do it. And I get why people live out there because there's, like, less paparazzi because they're probably afraid of the snakes and the bugs. Anywho, so I'm like, okay, he has Liam, and I'm like, I don't like Liam. I'm sorry. It could be because he played on Hunger Games such a character that you wind up hating, and that happens a lot to a lot of actors when they play a character so well. So that is such a character that you hate, you wind up not liking him. But I just really don't think he's a great actor. And then you're like, oh, it's because of Chris, and I'm like, no, man, because his older brother played Thor in the second movie in the play part. So if you remember when Thor comes back, there's a play that Loki has, and the person playing Thor is his older brother. So I'm scrolling, I'm like, I think they have another brother. So all of a sudden I see is it Teskey brothers, and this dude, I'm like, he looks like he could be a Hemsworth. So I play him. I play Rain. My favorite singer of all time is Otis Redding. I love me some Otis. I love my dad played the heck out of Otis. When I was in the car, we would travel, we would play it. It's like I never really believed in reincarnation until this moment. I think Otis Redding is in that dude's voice. I'm like, holy like I'm like it's like he lives in a bar and his woman did him wrong, and he has to go back working in the coal mines. I'm like, "Oh my god." I thought it was a joke because I was like, "This voice can't come out of this man." So then I'm scrolling down and I see Chris. I see Thor, and he was like, "Oh, my favorite artist is the Teskey brothers. I play them in the background, or I could play them at a party. There, it's a combination of Otis Redding or Nina Simone. It's just that great, great, great." And I was like, "Yeah, you're probably saying that because he looks just like your brother." So immediately I go into the comments, and everyone's like, "He looks like your brother." And then all of a sudden, I see the Teskey brothers doing an interview, and they're from Australia. And I'm like, "Hey, how did you get this southern like Memphis voice, you guys?" Look them up. I need him and Teddy Swim to do a song, and I need him to sing a Otis Redding song. I was scrolling all over like TikTok, Facebook, anything to see if he sings just one Otis Redding song because I have never wanted anyone to sing an Otis Redding song so bad in my whole entire life. This guy's voice, he took all my blues away yesterday. I was just like, he is singing for all of our feelings. Like, I have played Rain literally 26 times now. I have never heard a voice like his before. And like I'm a hard person to like for music. I love me some Teddy, I love me some Posty, but like, and I love some Jelly Roll. Like I have a very specific like type when it comes down to like some like R&B blues or whatever. You guys, Teskey brothers, I'm just saying. And then the thing is, I thought he was a Hemsworth, and it was Hemsworth like it was the Hemsworth brother that was like, dude, I play him all the time. He looks like he's a Hemsworth. Like, if Hemsworth was, like, 50, like, that's what he looks like. I know what Chris is gonna look like when he turns 50. And his voice, he sounds like he's Otis Redding, and I thought it was a spoof. I was like, "There's no way this no." And then when I found out he's an Aussie, I was like, "There's no way. How does he sound like he's from Memphis?" I need a video of him, like, I feel like he was in church, and then one day he just started singing and everybody turned around. I need a video of him as a kid, because you know how we get videos of Ed Sheeran, like, he was, like, a master piano and playing guitar, and we're like, "Okay, we understand. You were GOAT from a baby." I need to see a childhood thing because I don't understand his voice. It's out of this world. Yeah, I love some Teddy. So, that's how my ADHD brought but it went from being proud from the Wayans brothers to figure out who other has a lot of siblings, to figure out the Hemsworth, for me saying I'm mad at Liam Hemsworth. I don't even know I'm gonna watch Witcher because seriously, how can we go from Superman to Liam? I don't know if I'm gonna watch Witcher. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I love all the other characters, but dude, I we all know why we're there. We all know. And like I seen pictures of him and I'm just like it doesn't give me like oh he's so bad, but I want to heal him feelings. Like, so that's how I got to test the Teskey brothers. Yeah, that's how my mind works. It's kinda like you know how, like, Shannon has that flow chart? That's how my brain works, like, on a daily, but that's how it works. Yeah. Yeah, Henry Cavill is Henry Cavill, like, dude, I also feel like Henry Cavill would be a really good Bond. Idris Elba. I'm like, anything he does, like, I like him so much that my husband can't watch movies with me with him because 'cause I'm just like, he's just chef's kiss. I appreciate good-looking men. So so, like, but I'm telling Kendall, my husband, he came back from karate with our daughter, and he listened to this guy, and he was like, did he sing Tennessee Whiskey? I feel like he could see Tennessee Whiskey." And I'm like, "Dude, right? Like, he needs to sing some." like I'm like, all his songs are, like, original. Rain has got me out of my thundercloud yesterday, but I'm just like, I need you to sing a Otis Redding song, or I need you to sing Tennessee Whiskey, one of these 2. You need to do this for me. So, yeah, I'm, like, stuck on stupid, and I think other people should know it because I feel like when I've seen his likes, it's only, like, 100,000 likes. I'm like, "No, the world needs to know about you. I need you to come to America so I can go to your concert because now I'm a fan, and I'm gonna be that weird fan that's like, "Yeah, I need you to sing a Otis Redding song. Just do it. Just do it once." Oh, yeah. Oh, woo. I know. It's weird, all these snowdrops, but, like, the only cool thing about having the snow in the South is because if it gets warm the next 2 days, it just, like, melts. That's the cool thing. It's when they get the major snowdrops in places like, upstate New York or, like, Connecticut or whatever, and it's, like, freezing temps, it's just there forever until spring happens. It's is there, and there might be a chance that there's snow in spring, so, like, it's one of those things on where you live, but I think it's really cool because I remember in the '90s, there was a brief time in Southern California where snow came, and, like, we were all losing our mind, and it, like, disappeared the same day, so it was just it's an amazing thing when it happens because that climate's not used to snow, so it doesn't really stay, but it's when like Philly, if they get a 6 to 12-inch thing, they're that snow is just gonna get shoveled, right? But those packs of snow are gonna stay there until spring. It's just they're there because there's still little snow piles from the last snow drop at the school, on our sidewalk. It's just you get used to it. You're just like, "Oh, yeah, they're there until spring." It is what it is. So, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing today. I'm waiting for DHL and UPS, and I the reason why I have to wait for it is Loki like he has like a third sense or something. He knows when I'm expecting packages because he sits in front of the kitchen window, and you have to understand he's like a 150-pound dog. I have to go into full squat mode when I'm holding his collar if he wants to go after something. So I have to be like upstairs or downstairs and have like a window and the blinds open to see if there's a yellow or brown truck. If there is, then I have to tease him with a toy so I can let him go outside so I can do this. And all this sounds like a lot, but imagine doing it in a matter of seconds. Okay. So that's what I have to look forward to, and I need to call my son's pediatrician because I hope he can get squeezed in today. I do have an appointment with urgent care just in case they don't, because these urgent cares, if you don't have an appointment, they'll have you there for like 5 hours. You're just like, I'd rather be sick at home. So, yeah, I have a lot of just little things I have to do today and phone calls. I I love face-to-face phone calls. I don't really because, like, my face doesn't lie. Like, I when it's just voice because if I feel uncomfortable, you can't see my facial expression. So I have those too. So that's what my plans are today, and you got to hear again within 30 minutes, you got to hear about, depression, OCD off of numbers, talking to a therapist, Wayne's brothers, Hemsworth, Teskey brothers, and packages and business cards. If that doesn't scream ADHD, I don't know what else is. So Yes, please. Thank you, Lynette. If you could like, share, and subscribe, it means a lot. So I will talk to y'all later, and I hope everyone has a fabulous day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Stay warm.